How's it going, everyone? I'm the Shaz here with your video on the 5th official SBL. This SBL happened on the JP server right after the conclusion of the Toy Shop Panic Marathon event, which puts it right around the middle of December, releasing alongside the Fest Honoka and Rico banner. As I will state before we get into the meat of every SBL video, make sure you have teams to do at least one daily voltage run per song during SBL. Even if you don't think you have a particularly great team for voltage runs, do them. The number of tokens and star gems from SBL that you can get from not only the daily voltage totals, but the overall voltage totals as well, varies wildly, so I highly encourage you to do those voltage runs, even if you don't win the voltage category MVP on a given song. The group that gets the stat bonuses this time around is Muse. There are a few key cards that become very crucial this time around, specifically for your voltage runs. The songs for this SBL are Bokura wa Ima no Naka de for Muse, Mirai no Bokura wa Shitteru yo for Aqua, and Tokimeki Runner's Chapter 17 version for Nijigasaki. Let's start with the Muse song, Bokura wa Ima no Naka de, or Boku Ima for short. This is an active attribute song with a 20% appeal debuff for off attribute cards, so bring your cleansers if you're not running fully on attribute. The song has 166 notes and 4 appeal chances, so numbers required to win MVPs is going to be on the upper end of the scale. Speaking of the appeal chances, the first 3 are all voltage based, which should be easy enough. The last requires an SP gauge pop, but there are 4 separate 25% gauge fill gimmick notes, so you'll be able to clear this last one without issue. Voltage ranking lineups are going to be pretty straightforward again. You'll see lots of Fest Setsuna, Fest Chika, and Fest Yo, all at max or close to max limit break. There may be some deviation for this, as I could also see a lineup with Fest Setsuna, Blue Amor Umi, and train Nico to forego cleansing, utilize the Muse stat bonus, and run a whole bunch of appeal boosting cards in the backline. For SP cyclers, this song provides a bit of a challenge. The first appeal chance gives a skill activation rate up to all SK type cards during the AC, so you could opt to run a strategy with SK type gauge fill tap actives just for this AC, especially if those are not your 3 best gauge fillers. The last AC, which requires the SP gauge pop, provides an SP gauge gain for SP type cards of 100%, so this may influence your decision to possibly run 3 SP type gauge fill tap active cards just for this AC, though I wouldn't recommend it unless you have high limit breaks on cards like Initial Yohane, Miracle Voyageo, and Fez Emma. Skill cheesers, you're going to want to focus on that first AC. That is where you'll be able to gain your advantage in going for that MVP. This extra boost is huge, so if, for some reason, you're not running SK type cards with skill activation rate up tap actives, do so. Most of the skill activation MVPs do run 6 skill activation rate up cards and continuously switch between 2 strategies, so that may be a strategy to try out if you haven't yet. Also, remember that cards like Parade Pana, Fest Yo, Snow Halation Maki, and Cheerleader Yohane give an all-member skill activation rate up for the next 10 notes if they proc upon switching strategies. So if you do try out the 2-strat switch composition, remember to leave any of those cards in your last strategy. Next, we have the Aqua song, Mirai no Bokura wa Shitteru yo, or Mirai Boku for short. A smile attribute song, this live has a 15% debuff to off attribute cards. So again, if you're not fully on attribute, bring a cleanser for your voltage runs. All of the appeal chances are straightforward, with all being voltage based and all providing voltage boosts of your SP gauge by 25%. So this is one of the first times you may start to see usage of another DLP special item, the cool attribute belt, specifically to score higher than the 250k max on advanced difficulty songs. Voltage runs are most likely going to be comprised of 2 separate strategies. The first is the current standard, Fest Yo, Fest Chika, Fest Setsu, all at max limit break with some sort of cleanser in the backline. The second, and probably better strategy, will see some combination of Fest Honoka, Cat Hoodie Rin, Parade Pana, and Mononoke Girl Rina. All of these 4 cards are extremely strong for the attribute, have great synergies, for the most part, and, best of all, allow you to do your runs without a cleanser. In addition, 3 of these cards benefit from the SBL stat bonus, so be mindful of that if you have cards that are close stat-wise. For SP cyclers, there isn't anything within the song or the ACs that you'll need to be concerned about. You'll continue to run your best gauge fill tap active cards to cycle through your gauges, but there are some skill activation rate up for smile card gimmick notes in the song that may push you in a direction towards utilizing both Miracle Voyage Yo and Raindrops Kanon in a strategy when you get to those particular gimmick notes. The same applies to skill cheesers, though if you do want to maximize your overall skill activation count, you may want to think about utilizing cards like Initial Nozomi, Animal Emma, or Rainbow Rose Emma when you hit those gimmick notes. The last song for this SBL is Tokimeki Runner's Chapter 17 version. A natural attribute song that is much more difficult than the original Tokimeki Runners, this song has a cleansable 20% debuff for off attribute cards. So again, cleansers, bring them. The appeal chances for this one can prove to be a bit of a challenge if you don't team build correctly, as the first and third ACs require a hefty SP gauge pop, and the second AC, which requires 8 skill activations, has a skill activation rate up bonus for Niji cards, which may force you into running a separate all Niji strategy just to get this AC cleared. The last AC is voltage based, but does give an appeal bonus to all Niji cards, so if in your test runs for this song you're having issues clearing the last AC, try switching over to that all Niji team to get it cleared ASAP. For voltage runs, because of the Muse bonus, don't be surprised to see cards like Party Kotori, Snow Halation Kotori, and Fes Umi pop up in frontlines, especially for people not wanting to run a cleanser. In addition, you will probably also see Fes Nico run in a lot of backlines for voltage runs, since the damage taken per note is over the threshold for Fes Nico's live show active, which has a chance to provide a heal on any tap where you take over 500 damage. This gives voltage runners a little more breathing room and won't necessarily force them into running a sustain card in their main strategy. For SP cyclers, the only issue here may be the second appeal chance. If you're wanting to continue a full SP gauge fill tap active strategy, you're most likely going to be forced into a strategy comprising of Toki Runner's Shizuku, Toki Runner's Kanata, Animal Eye, or Fes Emma to get yourself through that AC. The SP gauge ACs may also be an issue as well, especially if you're trying to prevent others from getting extra gauge gimmick notes. 118k and 120k are not baby numbers, so you'll have to possibly sacrifice a full strategy just for your center 3 to give you enough voltage to clear those ACs. If you really want to maximize your gauge totals, note that the first AC also comes with an SP gauge gain up for all Niji cards, in addition to gimmick notes that increase the SP gauge gain for all SP type cards by 20% for the next 20 nodes, so utilizing the Niji strat I mentioned earlier may come in handy. SK cheesers shouldn't have too much of an issue with the song as a whole, but there are some little things that could help optimize your runs. First, there is a small quirk surrounding that second AC I've been talking about a lot. Right before it begins, you get dropped a 20% skill activation rate up for guard type cards gimmick note. If you really want to go crazy and maximize your cheesing, consider sliding in Toki Runner's Setsuna. Yes, normally she's a very bad card, one you wouldn't ever consider running unless you're a Setsu Oshi. However, remember that her tap active for a guard card is a skill activation rate up. Though only 3% for the next 5 notes at max limit break, her peculiar typing, in addition to the gimmick note and the skill activation rate up for Niji card gimmick during the AC, makes her a prime candidate to toss into a skill cheese formation looking to maximize their activations, along with 2 other Niji guard type cards, preferably higher appeal URs, like Princess Ai and Red Riding Hood Emma. And that concludes this 5th official SBL preview video. Once again, a big thank you to Xifrid for help with some of the visual assets for this video. If you enjoyed the video and would like to support my work, share this video, subscribe for free here on YouTube, follow me for free on Twitch over at twitch.tv/IamTheShaz, and join my Twitch channel Discord. Links will be in the description below. Finally, as always, a big thank you to my Twitch subs, SIFAS, Shut It, 86 Romy, Poker Dottie, AJ Bailey 3, Kotaro-chan, JMSYNR, Madeir_Cutie, Captain Cupcake, Fantastic, Super Penguin 7, and Spicy Quiche, most of whom have gifted subs in the channel as well. I've been I Am the Shaz, take it easy, be nice to each other, and I'll see you all next time.